With rumors of a potential ammo shortage on the horizon, I'm going to go over the facts and what a prepared citizen's ammo and magazine readiness should look like. Now, from my perspective, where I live in a small town in the southeast region of the United States, I have seen a slight impact in increased prices of ammo, and I've also seen a rarity of some common calibers. 380, for instance, has been sold out at a lot of stores around me, and I've been told by these store managers that they might not be seeing any for the near future. 9mm and 5.56 is still generally pretty easy to find. Prices have increased by $1 or $2 a box. In some certain rounds that I would specifically get, like self-defense rounds or certain green tip or other variants of 5.56, are not as commonly found as they were. Now, this is just for me personally. I do not think that this is a problem across the United States, but I'm giving you my personal point of view. I've made a video on this in the past, and I'm gonna leave a couple people's comments right here, also depicting that they have seen a shortage in ammo and a price increase, and sometimes even in online stores. Now, what to do during an ammo shortage? Obviously, the best thing to do is stock up on ammo before there is a shortage. I know there are certain companies, someone in particular called Ammo Squared. I'm not sponsored, but I've seen videos of them where you can buy ammo as you go, and they'll store it in their warehouse and ship it out to you when you need it after you've already purchased it. That is a good option, but obviously stocking up when ammo is cheap and easy to find. It's like the stock market. You buy low, you sell high. Buy ammo while it's affordable and cheap and you can find it. Now, once the shortage has happened, panic buying has probably ensued, and you more than likely cannot find any ammo for an affordable price at all. One thing that I've done in my local gun stores in the area is I've made good relationships with the general sales team, so that if a potential shortage does happen, you might get first picks at certain common calibers that are harder to get at a better price. This is one good thing about staying loyal to local companies and not ordering a bunch of stuff off the internet, that these local gun shops and their salespeople will appreciate your loyalty and reward you if the time comes when there is an ammo shortage. The biggest reason for the short-term price increase would be the conflict over in the Middle East and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Oil and gas prices going up obviously affects shipping prices. Diesel is most commonly used to ship stuff and transfer stuff throughout the United States, and diesel sitting at an average of over $5 a gallon will definitely make shipping go up, which in turn makes the price of ammo go up. I don't think this is going to be a huge nationwide scene thing, and we won't see this right now, but over the next couple weeks, once things start to trickle in, I think we will see it. Obviously, I hope that there will be a resolution soon and bring the prices back down, but that is a reality of what is going on in the Middle East. Now, this video is obviously in no way meant to ensue panic buying, as I do not believe that there is going to be a large shortage, but we've seen in 2020 how the shelves went completely bare and nobody had stockpile because they could get it at all the time. Just like the modern conveniences of the world, if you can go get fast food, you have power every day, if that goes out, it is going to be a large panic. So the best thing to do is to be prepared beforehand. This doesn't only tie to ammo and guns, but it ties to being a prepared citizen. That is what my channel is all about: having food, shelter, ammo, medical, water, all this stuff stocked up prior to a potential SHTF scenario. Power outages, severe storms, flooding, hurricanes, all this stuff is essential just to be a prepared citizen. I don't want you to spend all your money and budget and focus on guns and ammo, as you cannot eat guns and ammo. Having water and food is very important. Being able to create shelter and having little knowledge of at least some bushcraft or survival stuff, just in case you would have to leave your house or fix up something. As it is essential to have ammo stored for training and potential SHTF scenarios and shortages, it is essential to have magazines loaded and staged throughout your house to be ready for any potential need. You need to have at least 6 to 10 magazines loaded of your main fighting calibers. Here I have 6 30-round AR mags and 3 30-round AK mags. Would also suggest having at least 4 or 5 pistol magazines loaded for your main everyday carry or your duty pistol. This is essential because if you have 2,000, 3,000 rounds of your main fighting calibers, but you have no magazines loaded, if you're in a tense, hostile scenario, you're not going to have time to pack your magazines. You're going to need to have those pre-staged, and I definitely recommend having training magazines and specific battle/duty magazines that are not broken down and beaten up from dropping on the ground in the concrete, and not constantly loading and unloading, but having them loaded at all times and them ready to go. One very slept on and affordable round is 22 long rifle. It is very easy to stock up on thousands and thousands of this round, as it is very small and does not take up much space, and it is a very cheap round. It is considered the cheapest round on the market. I have a brick of 525 rounds right here. Got this for about 50 bucks. These are all hollow points. Does not take up much space at all, and it's very light, and you can carry a lot of rounds with you. Think about a situation where you might have to bug out of your house. If you have 10, 15,000 rounds of 5.56, you're not going to be able to easily load that up. More than likely, you're going to be able to grab a can or two. This is why I tell people having tens of thousands of rounds for the average prepared citizen is not really a good idea. Obviously, if you're training consistently and you're more than the average citizen, average prepared citizen, I would understand having tens of thousands of rounds. But on the potential scenario of having to bug out or leave your house for storms, potential SHTF scenarios, riots, whatever it may be, you're not going to be able to lug all that with you in a timely manner, and more than likely, you're not going to survive that many gunfights. Obviously, it's for training and you train a lot. That is a different story, but this is for the average citizen that maybe trains once or twice every 6 months. That is something to think about. 22, you can lug a lot more ammo with you, and it's a lot more lethal than people give it credit for. Now, having all the ammo in the world is one thing, but not having trained and prepared with your firearms is another. I would rather have bought 5,000 rounds in a year and shot 4 out of 5 of that 1,000 rounds and got that training and experience in with my guns and actually tested them out on the range, tested them outside, went and took them out camping. You don't want to treat your guns like they're some little ornament. Obviously, you see I have a couple nice guns right here, and I do that, but I have very battle-tested guns that I have shot a lot. Obviously, I'm also a gun collector, and some of these nicer, more expensive guns, I'm not going to get dirty, but I have specific rifles for specific purposes, and I use them, and they get dirty. Now, this doesn't say you have to go beat up your guns and stuff. Obviously, take care of them. They are a tool, and you want to make sure that they will work when the time comes. But this is basically just saying having tens of thousands of rounds stockpiled, but not having shot many through your gun will definitely not pay off for you. More than likely, you will not survive that many gunfights or even shoot that many rounds in training for the prepared citizen. And this is basically just saying, make sure you are training with your firearms. And this also ties back into training and knowing how to use medical gear, being prepared and knowing how to survive out in the woods for a specific amount of time. Obviously, if you're stockpiling up on all this ammo and firearms, you consider yourself a prepared citizen, but there's a lot more that goes into it than just firearms and ammo, such as food, water, shelter, medical, and general survival knowledge. Those are all important aspects to have stockpiled items, but also have the knowledge of knowing how to use them and implement them in a potential scenario. Now, to tie this back into the topic of the video of what to do if there is an ammo shortage, there's not many things you can do besides having prior done stuff and prepared prior. Obviously, you want to stock up while the ammo is cheap and you can find it on the shelves. One thing, like I said earlier, that you could do is make good connections and relationships with local stores in your area, because if they have shipments coming in, you might get first pick and a better price than the average person. That is definitely important, and that is why it's important to support local instead of ordering from all these large ammo manufacturers and gun manufacturers, because you will not create relationships with them. If you want to become a more prepared citizen, I have an ebook in my bio. You can go to my link tree and it is in there. It is the basics of becoming a prepared citizen. It goes a lot more over medical, food, water, shelter, and survival. Also goes into being physically fit. It goes into firearms a little bit, but more in depth on the other aspects and what you need to do to be prepared.